Hi there. So as promised, I've finally done a little walkthrough of how the Claydon hybrid T4 drill works. That will pop into the video in a few moments. It's pretty cold and windy out there, so I try to keep it short because I want to be back in the cab. But here that is, and I'll catch you in a little bit. So here it is. Finally going to get a little tour of the drill. Chosen a terrible day for it because it's so windy. Alright, so just before I show you sort of the working part, see I'm mounted on the link arms. Quite a decent sized toolbox on the front. Get quite a few bits and bobs in there, spare parts and tools and scales. This is the fan. You can see it's got an oil cooler bolted on the front of it. That's so it tries to reduce the temperature of hydraulic oil. So it's going back into the tractor. It doesn't pick up too much extra temperature by going through the fan. Nice big hopper. You get 2.5 ton seed in there. This wing obviously folds down, and then the platform comes with it. You just pop up the steps to get to the hopper. I'll show you that in a minute. Anyone who saw my video the other day about doing a demo for Claydon, I was talking about the depth control. This is all set off this ram here. So we just put different size spacers which are stored at the top there, and these control the depth across the whole width of the drill. So there's only one simple adjustment to make on the depth. A lot easier than some of these drills. You have to adjust the depth on each individual coulter, so big positive there. I like that. You do have to adjust the harrow, following harrow, quite a bit when you change the depth, within reason. You know, if you're about a centimetre or so too shallow, too deep, you don't really need to change the harrow. But when you're changing crops from peas to wheat or something, you'd have to change it quite a bit. So moving up from the depth control, you may also have heard me mention the on and off switch. This hydraulic ram here, and you've got the magnet on the end and the sensor here. So this activates the on-off switch for the metering system, which is down the back here. So as soon as I lift or lower on this ram, that little ram moves first, and that engages or disengages the seed as a priority when you lift and lower. So as you can see, you've got a disc at the front here. This is more for use in cover crops, I would say, so you can slip through the crop, which then helps this leading tine go through without bulldozing up on any large amounts of crop residue left behind. And then you have your seeder tine, this A share on it, and the seeder boot on the back here. I'll show you that on the other side, but you can see what I'm talking about. Right, so here we go. Here's the disc again. Doesn't do much on the field I'm in at the minute. It's so light silt sand out here that it's you make very little disturbance with the leg anyway. So yeah, this cuts the slot for the leading tine. As you can see just down here, we've been in about 5 inches. Just while we're looking at the drilling tines here, we've got tungsten face on this leading tine, so that should hopefully last forever and a day. On the back here, these are pre-charged cylinders, so these are for stone protection, so they're auto reset. If you hit, you can see obviously it's moved, whereas there's a lot of rock in this field. So as they hit an obstruction, I won't be able to move it, but the the leg will turn back and then reset itself once the obstruction is passed. So this tine was designed to create a drainage channel and to help the rooting of the seed. So then the seed, you've got this, let's go around this angle, 7-inch A share here, probably about 6 inches now after yesterday's work. And then behind it, the seed comes down and gets sprayed out with these two outlets. These rear ones are just on a big spring. I did actually manage to break and bend 2 of these in the autumn. I think they may have been on tree roots. On the seed pipe, we've got this boot here, and what this will do, if you do manage, I mean it's near impossible to block these up because they sit on this share, but if you were to block these up, then the seed comes out through here as an overflow. So you'll still be seeding the ground, and hopefully you will see it on the next run and see blockage out. So just looking at some of the work here, you'll just be able to make out this line here where the tine's gone through. We just lift back the shoulder there, you'll be able to see the seed. So that's the other side. And now it does is it sprays the seed in this band either side of the tine. There's some autumn drilled crop just down the road, which I'll try and show you later on in the video, just to let you see how it looks when it's grown. So behind we've got our depth control wheels. There's a pair here for road transport, one in the middle that only comes down when you're in the field, same as the outer two, and the other pair for road transport on the other side there. The wind is brutal. So moving on, you've got the depth wheels. These wheels don't run on any of the seed placed by the front set of drilling coulters, so you won't smear any of the seed in. They travel in front of the let's show you this one, in front of the rear seeder tines. So where the wheel, this tine will be following this wheel once the wing is unfolded. So anywhere where that wheel's been, you can then get this tine ripped through, and then comes the seed. So looking from the back of the drill, we can see the seeder tine in front there, and then come these batter boards. Now these run either side on the shoulders that haven't been worked, and what they do is hit the soil that's been pushed out either side by the share and drag it along and cause it to fall back over where the seed's been placed, and then you have the following harrow. The harrow's an optional extra, but don't buy one without it. It does a great deal of difference. Looking around this side of the drill, you can see that this depth wheel's not on the ground yet. That's because the drill won't go into lowering mode until the fan's activated and you reach about 3000 RPM. So you can't accidentally lower the drill without your seed fan running. So no chance of going along and not planting any seed, which has probably happened to most of us. So the rear harrow is a split of these big springs here. There's quite a lot of adjustment on these battering balls. You've got lots of pins and holes to choose from, and then another selection of the rear harrow to get just the angle you want. Then you've got the bout marker. This wheel just prevents the arm from jumping up and down too much and putting too much pressure on this this tine, because they can snap off in rough conditions. So this tyre, although it looks a bit odd, does prevent that from happening. And then on the back of the drill here, we've just got some pre-emergence markers for if we're putting in tram lines, which I'm not out here, but some people still put them in. We generally let the sprayer man do it. For calibration, just under here, it's quite easy to get to with the wing folded up. So here's the metering unit, and up here is a button. This will start the metering roller turning. So we pull out this pin, open this shutter, and hang a little basket on the bottom. And when you've got enough in the basket, whatever you fancy weighing out, press the button again. That shuts it off. And then inside the cab, it will tell you how much it thinks it's metered out. I just hang the scales on the front here, and then you weigh the amount of grain that's come out, and then just pop it up into the cab, and then you're calibrating. So you can see on this screen, I just press the button briefly, and it reckons it's put out 0.1111 of a kilo. And then you just press the amount you want to enter the real amount in. Yes, I think it was about 3.2 kilos I metered out. So you press this, enter in your amount, okay, and press escape because I don't want to do that, and escape again, and then it will tell you your maximum forward speed that you can do with the rate you've set. So you can see I just lowered this wing down, and the platform for drill filling. There's just a little hydraulic knob on the front you pull to lower the platform down, and it will automatically fold when you start to fold the machine, which I can do now. So if I start to fold the wing, you'll see the platform fold up first to get itself out of the way. Well, I hope that little intro to the drill made some kind of sense. To be honest, I was getting brain freeze outside. It was such a cold wind. Just glad to be back inside the cab now. A few probably extra points, because we've got drilling coulters in front and behind the depth wheels. You've got to be quite careful with how you set the height on the link arms, so it's seesawing. So the easiest way to check that is the tungsten on the leading tine. Make sure you've either got an even amount out of the ground or in the ground between the front and rear, and that's the best gauge I've found to find out you've got the drill running level. Otherwise you can be sort of going along at that angle, and then you'll get uneven establishment of the seed. You might not have the appropriate depth for the pre-emergent sprays you're applying, or you might just bury the back bits too deep and it takes forever and a day to come up. I'm not using the bout markers. We're running on GPS out here, so they'll stay folded in until I do the headland, and I'll just use the left hand one as I loop round. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll probably already know that I'm in the T7 250, so that's got 250 horsepower on this drill, which seems like a pretty good match. Could put it with less on light soil, but a lot of ground on our own farm is very heavy clay, so it's just enough. Sometimes you think you can do a bit more, but we're cruising along now. We're doing 10k and using 35 litres of fuel an hour. I did use a 420 New Holland on this a year ago last spring, and that was using about 70 litres an hour, and probably doing a very So this is a field of winter barley we put in 10th November 2020. Do with a little bit of nitrogen, it looks like. But today's the 28th of March, start of British summertime today. So considering how late it went in, and how wet it was when we planted, so I sunk and towed out over there. I think it's quite impressive. Good bunch of tillers. So yeah, that's what it looks like once it's come up. So we're all finished around this area for the time being. Just emptied the drill out. There's some wheat patching down on their marsh ground, but that was where it was all ponded over winter. But a lot of that's still too wet. There's big areas that are dry enough, but it won't all go, so we'll come back probably Friday next week and try and get that. In the meantime, probably planting barley tomorrow, and then spring beans for a neighbour Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so then back here Friday. So yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Pop us a like if you did. There's also, while I've been planting wheat down here, my brother's been planting potatoes. He's done a short drone video of that. I'm not sure if I'll patch it into this video, probably put it up in a separate one. So look out for that. It's only a little one, but quite good footage. So thanks for that. See you next time.